What if the world leaders all got together and played Tekken? Tekken is a fighting game franchise that consists of several games over the years. And while some games feature single-player story mode campaigns, the core of the series is its competitive multiplayer. Players pick a fighter and then use a variety of attacks, special moves, and combo breakers to whittle down their opponent's life bar before they can do the same to you. The more matches you win, the better your placement in the tournament bracket, and the better your prize will be. The most common prizes being more fights, money, respect, and maybe a really nice trophy if you're lucky. But for world leaders, these simple stakes aren't going to cut it. So let us say the only way they can settle their differences is to do battle in the ring, but with slightly lower stakes. As long as there has been war, there has been destruction, and no matter how much land you acquire, it's never enough. There's always someone who wants a piece of what you got and will stop at nothing to take it. That means constant preparation for defense and offense, building up armies, stockpiling weapons, and making sure everyone knows you mean business. But why not save all that time and effort and just have a big to-do in the middle of a TV studio instead? No need to wage a months-long war when you could settle everything with a well-placed uppercut. The whole world is watching as you step into the virtual cage. The President of the United States, Vladimir Putin, Supreme Leader of North Korea, King Norodom Sihamoni of Cambodia, the Dalai Lama, and the Sultan of Brunei stand opposite, you ready to do battle. They've come to settle things once and for all, and they each bringing their own unique skill set. The U.S. President relies on his signature thumbs-up attack. Putin utilizes his super move called Ends the World that can only be used once per match. King Sihamoni counters with a flurry of high kicks that leave opponents stunned and vulnerable. The Dalai Lama stays calm and collected, breaking his opponent's attacks with ease. As for the Sultan, he's got a trick up his sleeve, using fancy footwork to evade attacks and then punishing his opponents with blindingly fast strikes. The crowd is going wild. Who will prevail? Will it be the heavy-handed might of the American president? Putin's world-ending fury, or something totally unexpected, like maybe the surprising agility of the Cambodian king? The tension is palpable. Every move matters. The fate of the world hangs in the balance. And as the final round begins, anything can happen. All right, let's rewind this a bit. How does such a system even work? The first step would be choosing your fighters. In a lot of Tekken games, characters from rival organizations are put up against each other to determine which group comes out on top. So it makes sense that a world tournament would follow suit. Countries could send whoever they want as long as they meet certain requirements like being alive, being able to fight, and not being a sitting head of state. After all, it wouldn't do for the president to get elbow dropped on live TV, now, would it? This leads us to our next question. What happens if the world leaders don't want to fight themselves? This is actually a great question, and one that I think has a pretty simple solution. Why shouldn't they participate in the fighting tournaments? Presidents, prime ministers, and kings lead busy lives, and it would be unfair to expect them to drop everything else they have going on to practice their combos. But there are plenty of other people in their countries who would love the opportunity to duke it out in the ring and win some cool prizes for their country. If anyone can fill in for world leaders in a pinch, it's their defense ministers. They oversee military operations, enforce laws, and make sure the country's prepared for any eventuality, including riots, natural disasters, and giant mutated monsters attacking major cities. Plus, they have experience with high-stakes situations, so they probably won't crack under pressure. Also, many modern militaries have martial arts programs to improve hand-to-hand combat skills. While it may not seem immediately useful, knowing how to throw a punch could come in handy when tensions flare up between countries. But what if a country's defense minister doesn't know how to fight? Then they just bring someone in who can, someone who can represent their country with honor and hopefully walk away with some sweet hardware to show off back home. Who do you send to fight for your country? Maybe it's a veteran who has seen their fair share of combat and knows a thing or two about taking an opponent down. Or maybe it's a young prodigy who has been training their entire life for moments like this. Regardless of who they send, every country is going to have their own motivations for participating in the tournament. Some countries might fight for resources or land, while others might do it for the sake of national pride. But win or lose, there will be bragging rights on the line. Countries will compete for dominance, and only one can claim the title of the best in the world. If the world settled their differences through fighting games rather than actual warfare, the results could be very different. For example, imagine if countries were ranked based on the performance of their fighters in the game. A strong showing could lead to a country's leader gaining more respect and influence on the world stage. On the other hand, a poor showing could lead to their humiliation and the loss of prestige. Furthermore, the fighting game community is known for its passionate and dedicated players. If the world's leaders took this competition seriously, they would invest time and resources into developing training programs for their fighters, leading to a new era of international athleticism. Not to mention the amount of money that would be saved on military spending alone. All those tanks and fighter jets could be converted into arcade cabinets. And speaking of games, it's time to play a quick game of What If? Would the world be a better place if everyone was ranked by their fighting game skills? Which world leader do you think would do the best in a fighting game tournament? And what do you think the prize would be for the winner? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. We'd also like to thank all of our supporters for their continued support. Your support helps us make the videos you love, so we appreciate it very much.